You're watching the NCCAA Division II Mid-East Region Finals. Today's exciting tournament action brought to you in part by
Domino's Pizza. Handmade pan pizza with 2 layers of cheese, toppings to the edge, and a crust made from fresh dough. Domino's Pizza of Circleville, located on Lancaster Pike. Subway, eat fresh.
Subway, eat fresh.
Service Master Clean by Todd George. They will help you get clean and stay that way at work and at home. 740-687-1077.
Fairfield Christian Academy is pleased to offer students from preschool to high school an education of excellence, mid-state league sports, archery, media, drama, and music. Learn more at fairfieldchristianacademy.com.
Well, 40 minutes of basketball, and we're going to have a Mid-East region champion on the women's side of things. Number 1 OCU, number 2 OCU, by the way, taking the floor right now, wearing their orange regional tournament t-shirts. And KCU, the number 1 overall seed in this Mid-East region tournament, will be out here shortly as well. It is KCU out of the Mid-East region, 14-15, 3-1 here in conference play, taking on the OCU Lady Trailblazers for the Mid-East region championship. The Lady Trailblazers 18-11. They, like KCU, only 1 loss in region play. They are 4-1 overall. The Lady Trailblazers actually had to win yesterday to get into this championship game, and they knocked off number 3 Johnson University 60-43 in the Mid-East region semis. The Trailblazers led by only 5 at the break, 20-15. They shot only 21% in the first half from the field and only 7% on threes, 1 of 14. OCU outscored Johnson 40-28 in the second half. It was freshman Asia Woodson that was really the only Trailblazer that could get it going offensively. Woodson had 22 points, 3 rebounds. She was 9 of 16 from the field and 3 of 5 on threes. And remember, Woodson did not play. She missed a game earlier prior to the regional tournament, had taken a shot to the eyes, had some protective glasses. They weren't sure how she was going to be able to perform, and I'd say she did pretty well. Again, 22 points, 9 of 16. The Lady Jags, only 7 players in uniform. They lost a couple throughout the year. It was Amanda Scheich and Whitney Moore that both led Johnson with 10 points in that basketball game. Johnson finishes 2012-2013 at 11-14 and 0-5 against Mid-East region teams. For KCU, as the number 1 team in this region and only 3 teams overall, they did not have to play. They were able to come in last night, watch their KCU men get lead, go to victory, and knock off number 3 Crown, and they do not play before this championship today. They did play on Tuesday, and it's worth noting because they were beat 78-52 down at UC Claremont in Batavia. Ron Arnett, typically what he does is he schedules a game the week of the regional tournament to kind of fine-tune things. It's always a tough school. The last couple years it has been UC Claremont, a way to kind of fine-tune it. They may win, they may lose, but it usually is a game that gets this program battle-tested. It is not a game where they usually lose by 26, and so it has been quite a stretch to end the season for KCU. They have lost 3 in a row. They have lost 6 of their last 8. They have dropped to number 3 in the nation. Number 1 is, of course, Maranatha, but it is now Hillsdale that has taken over the number 2 spot in the NCCAA Division II national polls, and so it's quite interesting. This is obviously the worst record that Ron Arnett has had in his 22 seasons at KCU. Had 29 wins a season ago, for example. They are only 14-15 this year, and so it's been a little bit of a different story. Typically, they've had a roster with 12 or 14 girls. They have a JV program. Well, this year they have 8 players that will be in uniform today, and so just unique. And they will have, again, no matter, even if they win out, they win today, win the national championship, it will be the lowest win total for a Ron Arnett coach team in his 22 seasons at KCU. And so it's interesting, but as I've said throughout the year, I'm not buying number 3 in America All-America until somebody knocks off this team that has won 6 consecutive national championships. I still say they're the team to beat. Maranatha, Hillsdale, they can say what they want. This is a program, Ron Arnett, that has found a way to win, and as long as Tanya Bowens is running the point, this is a dangerous, dangerous basketball team. Tanya Bowens, first-team All-American, her first 2 seasons at KCU. She'll get that honor again this season. She looks to be only the second KCU Lady Knight to ever be a 4-time first-team All-American. Tabitha Hannum Hall, who played at KCU from 1993 to 1996, is the other. Bowens was the MVP of the national tournament a season ago. She was the MVP of the tournament back in 2011 as well. And 21.6 points, a team high, 5.8 assists, a team high, and a team best 2.8 steals. At the point, she is shooting 50% from the field, which is unheard of, and 43% on threes, which is a team best as well. So Bowens does it all. The question is, does she have enough weapons around her to knock off OCU tonight and lead this team to another national championship, which again would be their 7th in a row. It would be their 15th title in the last 19 years. Ron Arnett has led KCU to 14 of those national championships. It was Tom Bender that led them to their first title back in 1989. And so this one should be good. It's a rematch. It's the 3rd meeting, I should say, between these 2 teams. KCU won the first meeting of the year on their home floor, January the 15th. At that time, both of these teams were tied at the number 2 slot in the nation, and KCU won 76-59. The Trailblazers only 34% from the field in the second half, while KCU shot 52% in the final 20 minutes. Shelby Rowe, OCU's leading scorer, finished with only 6 points. She was really a non-factor. Freshman Asia Woodson was the only Trailblazer in double digits with 16 points. OCU played that game without senior Kara Zwick, who had left the program for a period of time. She is now back and will be in uniform today. Junior Monica Stevens, really, being candid, had her way, dominated the post in that first meeting. Stevens, 18 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists, and it was the point guard Bowens that led KCU with 21 points and 4 assists. She was 8 of 12 from the field. The second meeting, a total 180, exact opposite when OCU beat KCU 72-68 in overtime in this building. Junior Tanya Bowens, a runner on the right wing with 6 seconds left, that tied it and forced the extra 5 minutes of basketball, but OCU outscored KCU 6-2 in the OT to end a 6-game losing streak against the Lady Knights. Senior Shelby Rowe, 13 points in the first half on 3 threes. She finished with a team high 25 points, 5 of 10 from behind the arc. Asia Woodson, 14 and 3 assists. Tanya Bowens had 25 for KCU. She had 9 assists, but she also turned it over 9 times in that game as well. Bowens was only 10 of 25 from the field, and KCU as a team turned it over 25 times in that game as well, which is just too many. OCU did a much better job on Monica Stevens as well, finishing with 18 points, but only she was 8 of 13 in that first meeting for 18 points. Second meeting with only 12 points and 4 of 10 from the field. They did a much better job. You'll hear Mandy Ray talk about the differences they made in her coach's interview, which is coming up here shortly. So it is the MidEast Region Championship. KCU and OCU, they have been doing this for a long, long time, and KCU looking for their 29th consecutive championship in the region here tonight in the Leadership Center. It's KCU 14 and 15, OCU at 18 and 11. We'll check in with OCU head coach Mandy Ray to get her thoughts coming up next. It's the MidEast Region Championship here on the OCU Trailblazer Basketball Network.
Ohio Christian University offers accredited, career-focused undergraduate and graduate degree programs for busy adults. Classes are convenient, offered online or evenings and weekends at our 12 locations. OCU will prepare you for your next step and help you discover your higher purpose.
We invite you to attend Ohio Christian University.
I didn't need help from anybody. I was good at everything. And this, the drugs and the alcohol, I couldn't stop doing it. I went down a path of destruction. It was just about escaping the feelings. I never used one without the other. It was chaos. Dump trucks, insanity plowed into us. I know it was the devil. I actually got suspended from baseball. I said, I need help. that I can't do it anymore. I fail on my own. You do with me what you want to do with me, but I surrender.
Head coach Mandy Ray joins us here on the pregame show. It is Championship Saturday here in the Maxwell Leadership Center as the number 2 seeded Trailblazers take on number 1 Kentucky Christian and the MidEast Region Championship on the line. Head coach Mandy Ray joins us to talk a little hoops. Coach, your 8th win in 9 tries, 18th win overall yesterday, 60-43. You knock off the 3 seed Johnson. Just thoughts overall on the win.
You know, anytime you have to play a team a third time, it's difficult, especially when you've won the first 2 times. And you know, we came out really just not. It was like there was a lid on the basket in the first half, and but I thought we just, you know, we kept fighting. We have focused on rebounding being key all week, and you know, we dominated on the boards and finished it off in the second half.
We talked on the air, we were focused on 2 things, fatigue and fouls. Felt like Johnson couldn't get in foul trouble if they were going to win, and fatigue obviously was going to be a factor. Philippi got 3 early, had to do a lot of sitting, their leading scorer, and you outscored him by what, 17 points in that second half. How much of a factor did you sense fatigue was? Did you wear him down?
Definitely. I think, you know, every game we've said, you know, we keep pushing the ball and running the ball, and they you know, they don't go very deep, and we can go deep, and we can keep fresh people out there, and you know, I thought that was definitely a factor in our defense. You know, we always seem to get a little bit more intensity towards the end of the first half and into the second, so hopefully we'll come out ready and with the intensity we need at the beginning of the game tonight.
First game without Olivia Davis, kind of did it by committee yesterday with Danner and Bechtel seeing some time. Thoughts on how you handled that slot yesterday?
Yeah, we told the girls before the game that, you know, there's not going to be just one person that comes out and makes up for her 9-10 rebounds a game that she's averaging, that it was going to be, you know, everybody just needed to do a little bit more than what they usually do and really make rebounding a focus. And, you know, Ritz really focused on the boards. I think she had 10, and Kara finished with 12 rebounds, and Caitlin was big for us offensively inside. So we're definitely, and Sarah too coming in and hitting shots. So, you know, we're going to need them to step up again tonight, and especially at the defensive end, staying active on their bigger post players.
That was going to be my next question. How did you use Olivia in that win on February 5th, and who best fills that void against KCU today?
Well, you know, the first time we played them, we had Olivia down on Stevens, and that's really not Olivia's strength. She's more active and really mobile for her size, and but we didn't have Kara that first game. Right. So the second game we were able to have Olivia out on the perimeter trying to defend, and Sharonda, and keep Sharonda from getting the ball on that entry pass that they like to, you know, get into their offense. And she really did a good job, Kara did, and Ritz did a good job on Stevens down low. So a key is going to be for us to stay out of foul trouble inside, and for Caitlin and Sarah to really step up defensively and not let Sharonda get touches and keep the ball out of her hands.
Let's talk a little bit more about KCU. They enter this having lost 6 of their last 8 games, and I've been in this a long time, Coach, 20 years watching this team play. I don't think they've ever entered a regional tournament on that kind of run. Usually it's an 8, 9, 10-game winning streak. Thoughts on why this team is maybe a little bit more vulnerable this year? Why are they having trouble down the stretch?
I think they have several players that are playing a lot for them that really they don't have that experience necessarily. Losing as many seniors as they did last year, they have just a totally different team if you look at who they have on the floor the majority of the time, and you know, they're not near as deep as they have been, and but I don't think, you know, the games they've lost have been games that probably, most of them that they probably should have lost if you look at as far as NAI games, and you know, they were against good teams. So I don't think that they're going to come in with any kind of loss of confidence or anything like that against us. I think they're going to be ready to go and remember all the times that they have beat us and just get their confidence from that, probably.
One thing is, you look at their numbers as a team, they continue to do is shoot the ball well and score. 74 a game, number 1 in the nation, 45% from the field, number 1 in the nation, 33% on threes, which is number 3 in the nation. Besides Bowen, who is the other player on the perimeter that concerns you with some of their shooting?
Well, I think Marshall and Chester can both step up and hit those shots. You know, Marshall is one that has played a lot and does have a lot of experience for them. So, you know, this isn't like she's going to be nervous or intimidated or anything like that coming into this type of a game. And I think they do so well, and they shoot so well and score so much because they do move the ball and they play together as a team, and you know they make other teams really work on defense and wait. They're patient. They wait till the other team breaks down defensively, and we were able to capitalize, and our defense was really good. Our help side was great last game, so it should be a fun game if we're both playing at our best.
Defensively, you just said it. You had their number in the last meeting, really made some adjustments. Do you do the same thing defensively, or are there any twists, any surprises you might throw at them this afternoon?
I think it's mainly the same thing. I mean, basically all we did was just play good fundamental defense, you know, deny the passing lanes, make it difficult for them to get into their half-court offense.
You sent a lot more double teams than Stevens, though, didn't you?
Yeah, our help side was just a lot better.
Okay.
In the first game, our wings were out, you know, hugging their player on the opposite side, so Monica was just one-on-one in the post every time, and we tried to stay more active on her too, not just stand straight behind her and catch it. But most of it was just fundamental stuff that we decided we were going to do that day. So hopefully we do the same thing today.
I remember the one thing you said when we talked February 5th that I thought really came to fruition. You said, we're not going to let Monica feel the defender behind her. You were moving a lot, and as a big player, I'm one of those guys. I love feeling that person on my backside. Really, Stevens never seemed to be comfortable underneath.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. When you're a physical post-up player, you want to know where the defense is as you're catching the ball, and you can kind of already make the decision of what you're going to do with it. And we did a much better job of staying active and not just standing straight behind her, letting her catch it, but staying active on her and making her really work. And when she did get the ball, it seemed like we always had people in the right position to keep her from being able to score.
She was panicking. She's like, where's the help coming? What's going to happen? Coach, last question. If there's a matchup or a stat line that could determine the outcome, something that a big key in this game, who is it or what is it and why?
Man, I think just rebounds in general. I think that, you know, with us not having Olivia, a couple people on our team are going to have to step up and rebound and be effective inside. I think, like I said, our Ritz and Kara staying out of foul trouble, I think is going to be huge too, because that's who we want on Stevens the majority of the time also.
Coach, always appreciate your thoughts. Look forward to your thoughts at halftime of the men's game as well. Best of luck.
Thank you.
That's head coach Mandy Ray here on the pregame show as we get you set for the MidEast Region Final. It's number 1 KCU and number 2 OCU. We'll take a break and meet this afternoon's starting lineups. Those are coming up next here on the OCU Trailblazer Basketball Network.
Ohio Christian University offers accredited, career-focused undergraduate and graduate degree programs for busy adults. Classes are convenient, offered online or evenings and weekends at our 12 locations. OCU will prepare you for your next step and help you discover your higher purpose.
We invite you to attend Ohio Christian University.
Rick Cooper back here in the Maxwell Leadership Center. Let's meet this afternoon's starting lineups for the MidEast Region Championship game. First of all, the number 1 seed in this tournament. First game of the weekend for Ron Arnett and the KCU Lady Knights. The point guard is Tanya Bowens, 5'6" junior from Louisa, Kentucky. 2-time first-team All-American, 2-time National Tournament MVP. 21.6 points and 5.8 assists. Both of those are team highs. 3.7 rebounds and 2.8 steals. She is plus 60 this season in assist to turnover ratio. The 2 guard tonight is Rachel Chester, was the backup point guard a year ago, has moved over to the 2 with the departure of Tara Weddle, 5'4" senior from Louisville, Kentucky, 5 points and 2.1 assists. Jessica Marshall will play the small forward, 5'11" junior out of Grayson, Kentucky, a third-year player from East Carter High School, 7.6 points and 5.9 rebounds, one of their better three-point shooters, 35% from behind the arc. Sharonda Jones, the former OCU Trailblazer in her first season with KCU. 5'7" junior will wear number 23. Mom and Grandma listening down in Pompano Beach, Florida. 11.8 points and 6.6 rebounds, 46% from the field. And the man in the middle is Monica Stevens, 5'11" junior from West Carter High School. Started her collegiate career at Morehead State. Didn't play basketball there, but transferred to KCU, came home, and is the Knights' leading rebounder at 8.6 boards per game, 10.6 points as well. She shoots a team best 57% from the field, and the head coach in his 22nd season is the 7-time National Coach of the Year. Ron Arnett, 571 wins, 175 losses. He wins at a clip of 77% and assisted by two pretty good ones from the Knights and Lady Knights program. Chad Leach, the former KCU head coach, on his bench tonight. So is Heather Stacy, a 4-time national champ. For OCU, the point guard is Tiaja Smith, 5'4" freshman from Gahanna Lincoln High School. 4 points and 3.3 assists, which is a team high. The 2 guard tonight will be Asia Woodson, who had 22, a team high 22 yesterday. 5'5" freshman from Toledo, Ohio. 14.2 points and 3.6 rebounds. That 14.2 is a team best. Shelby Rowe will play the 3. 5'8" senior from Middletown. Did not score yesterday. Did dish out a team best 3 assists and had 2 blocks, which is a team best as well. 14.4 points per game, a team high 36% on threes, which is number 7 in the nation. Caitlin Danner will start in place of Olivia Davis at the 4. 5'7" freshman from Waynesville, Ohio. Played soccer in the fall. 3 points, 2.9 rebounds. She had 10 and 3 on 5 of 11 shooting yesterday. And the man in the middle is Maritza Will. Did not score yesterday, but did have 10 rebounds from Franklin Heights. She'll wear number 33. 5.7 rebounds and 6 boards. The head coach in her 7th season is Mandy Ray. 110 wins, 96 losses, a winning percentage of 53%. She is assisted tonight by Brenda Carter Baker. We'll take our final timeout here on the pregame show. We're throwing the basketball up next. It's number 1 KCU, number 2 OCU. You're going to watch the MidEast Region Championship game here on the Ohio Christian University Trailblazer Basketball Network.
You're watching the NCCAA Division II MidEast Region Finals. Today's exciting tournament action brought to you in part by
Domino's Pizza. Handmade pan pizza with 2 layers of cheese, toppings to the edge, and a crust made from fresh dough. Domino's Pizza of Circleville, located on Lancaster Pike. Subway, eat fresh.
Subway, eat fresh.
Service Master Clean by Todd George. They will help you get clean and stay that way at work and at home. 740-687-1077.
Fairfield Christian Academy is pleased to offer students from preschool to high school an education of excellence, mid-state league sports, archery, media, drama, and music. Learn more at fairfieldchristianacademy.com.
Just about set to get underway here at the MidEast Region Championship game. Rick Cooper, Fairfield Media, and the OCU Trailblazer Basketball Network. It is great to have you with us for what should be a couple good ones this afternoon. It'll start with OCU and KCU, the women, and it will end at 3 p.m. this afternoon with OCU and KCU for the men. Looking at this day at a whole, at a glance here, it is the KCU men that feel the most pressure coming into today. On one side, they have nothing to lose. They're the underdog, a heavy underdog, but they are the team out of these 4 that if they lose will not play in the national tournament. They will not take an at-large bid. They would not be offered an at-large bid this season. OCU women will be in the national tournament regardless as the host school. KCU as the number 3 team, the 6-time defending champs. We expect at least one at-large to be available. There may be 2. There's a little bit of drama in the East region. Maybe we'll tell you about that a little bit later on, but there could be as many as 2 at-large berths. KCU will get one of those. The only way they don't go, as Ron Arnett told me yesterday, is if they play awful today. If they don't show up and lay an egg, he will not submit them for an at-large. And the OCU men, as the number 1 team in the nation, the number 1 seed in this region, by getting to the MidEast region final, they have officially punched their ticket to Springfield, Missouri as well. Comparing these 2 teams, KCU number 1 in America, 74 a game. They give up 64 plus 10. OCU number 3 in America at 70 a game. They give up 65 plus 5. Trailblazers 37% from the field. KCU 45%, number 1 in America. Trailblazers 30% on threes, number 6 nationally with 182 makes. KCU 33%, number 3 nationally with 134 makes. Trailblazers 66% at the line, KCU 71%. Trailblazers even in terms of rebounding margin, KCU plus 6. Turnovers, OCU 18 a game, they force 23. KCU 16 a game, they force 15. The Lady Knights as the higher seed in their home uniforms. Trailblazers will still be the home team on the scoreboard, still sitting on their home bench, but they will wear the visiting black. Your referees, the ref is Dave Saunders from Springfield, Ohio. The umpires are Freddie Johnson from Cincinnati and Doug Force, a Marshall University grad who drove up this morning from Huntington. First games for each of these guys this weekend. They have worked no other games here in the tournament. The opening tip is controlled by Asia Woodson and OCU. Woodson to the rim but could not finish. Monica Stevens snags her first defensive rebound. KCU with it. First possession of the game for the team that has won 6 consecutive national championships. Nobody has come even close to doing anything like that at any level in the history of college basketball. Right wing, it's Marshall. Underneath to Stevens, double team. Bowen's left side 3 went in and out. Stevens, or make that Marshall, had a hand on it but could not bring it in. Rebound OCU. So both teams come up empty on their opening possession. Trailblazers will look to strike here. With it is Woodson. Just left of center, it's Shelby Rowe. Now to the left wing. Tiaja Smith, right baseline, it's Rowe. Back out Danner, just inside the 3-point line. Her jumper no good, and everybody wearing gray going to the backboards, and Jessica Marshall snags the backboard. They're Karam, and it's KCU with their second possession of this first half. Neither team has scored through 1 minute and 10 seconds, and there's a turnover as that pass deflected and taken away by Woodson. 4-on-3 advantage, Woodson into the lane, and they're gonna call a jump ball. Wow. Not sure about that call, but it is a jump that referee Mr. Dave Saunders calls, and the possession arrow will give it to KCU. Sure looked like there was a lot of contact underneath the basket as Woodson had the step and tried to get into the lane. 18:30 to play first half. Left side Bowen. Bowen got the step, put it off the glass and in. Be a big matchup today. How does Tiaja Smith, freshman, first regional tournament, how does she do against the 2-time first-team All-American, 2-time national tournament MVP? They gave her some problems in the last meeting when Bowens had 9 turnovers in the game and was only 10 of 25 from the field. Woodson kind of shot that one from the hip and buried a 3. First points for Toledo. Bousher graduate Asia Woodson was the player of the year in the Toledo City League. Boy, as she came in and really asserted herself immediately out of the gate for OCU this season. 14.2 points per game, a team high. Jessica Marshall around the horn to the left side, and Chester, the senior from Louisville, doing her student teaching this semester, which has been interesting as Bowen just hit a 3 from right of center. She's got 5, and it's KCU 5-3 here early. Left forecourt, it's Asia Woodson. Woodson looking for Rowe, who did not score yesterday. Has got some knee problems, will not get an MRI done until after the season. I think she fears what that MRI may tell her. So senior wants to finish things out and not 100%. There's a turnover. Bowen's going to get to the races. Going to try to take it past Rowe, and she did. It was a foot race. And the only person that can keep up with her for either of these teams is Tiaja Smith. And Smith was well behind the play. Bowens with 7. All 7. And KCU leads 7-3 with 16:48 to play in the regional championship first half. Shelby Rowe gets a good look on a 3, backside of the iron, no good. And again, everybody rebounding. It was Chester who had it, but Tiaja Smith using those lightning quick hands, able to slap it off of Chester, and it goes out of bounds. It'll stay with OCU, a fresh 30 with 16:38 to play in the half. 7-3. Inbound to Maritza Will. To Woodson. They're going to use that inbound play. Rowe, KCU played it well, and it leads to a turnover. They have seen that, and they scouted it, and we're not going to let Shelby Rowe beat them on the baseline. Taken away, Stevens from Jones. Back to Jones. 15-footer off the window, no good. And Jessica Marshall, an offensive rebound. Bowens, another 3 on the rim, no. Stevens, an offensive rebound. Her putback, no good. Stevens got it again. Bowens to Jones. Free throw jumper is right there. Mandy Ray needs a 30-second timeout. KCU off to a hot early lead with 16:04 to play here in the first half. It's KCU 9 and OCU 3. We'll keep it right here and tell you tonight's broadcast is brought to you all season long by Domino's Pizza, the official pizza partner of OCU Athletics. They've got a medium 2-topping pan pizza available right now with 2 layers of cheese, toppings to the edge, and a crust made from fresh dough. Again, a medium 2-topping pan pizza, only $7.99 at Domino's Pizza, 207 Lancaster Pike in Circleville. Call 740-477-2541. Early here in the first half, but KCU off to a blistering start. One of the key components coming off this bench for OCU will be Kara Zwick when she gets into this game. It's not made an appearance yet. Zwick has the body to bang underneath with Stevens and has really been shooting it well. But yesterday, here she comes right now. The Prophet Coop really set you up for that one as a foul called. Woodson tried to get into the lane, and they're going to call a foul on 21 Stevens, who tried to come over and provide some help. First on Stevens and the first on the team. Couple free throws coming up here for Woodson, but Zwick was 2 of 17 yesterday. 6 points, had 12 rebounds and 3 steals. And you know, there's every once in a while I have a Phil Simms moment. If you've ever watched Phil Simms call a game, pretty solid guy most of the time, but 1 or 2 times through every game he says something very boneheaded, something that you just, Phil, you're not very bright. And I'm going to say one right now. Kara Zwick's not going to shoot 2 for 17 today and have OCU live to talk about it. She is going to have to shoot the basketball much better if OCU is going to keep this thing close. 9-5, 15:37 to play here in the first half. Bowens looked like she may have caught it on her hip. Nothing called, nearly lost it. And now what? A 3-second violation is going to be charged on number 34, Kelsey Pugh, the 5'8" sophomore from Falmouth, Kentucky. Again, only one of 3 players on Ron Arnett's bench. She averages 5 points and 3.3 rebounds, and guilty of camping out in the lane there. So Trailblazers looking to cut in to this 4-point deficit. Zwick under the hoop, trying a little scoop hook, and Monica Stevens said, Lady Knights in transition. Bowens trying to get it back to Stevens, and Kara Zwick read that like the Circleville Gazette. Took it away, and the Trailblazers again with another opportunity to cut this to 2 and maybe even 1. Top of the key, Woodson drops it off to Rowe into the lane. Goes left baseline to Danner. Again, playing the 4 today. OCU without the services of Olivia Davis, who tweaked a knee earlier in the week, as Woodson just hit again. Asia Woodson has scored all 8 of OCU's points here in the first 5 minutes and 23 seconds. Olivia Davis, to finish that thought, tweaked that knee as they try to go backdoor to Bowens, and they let her too far with 14:29 to play. Ball back to OCU. Chelsea Black will check in. The junior from St. Paris, Ohio, 5.5 points, 3.4 rebounds. Rowe will sit down. Chester sits down for KCU, his first appearance for Caitlin Meyer, the 5'3" sophomore from Brooksville, Kentucky. And I went to school with her brother, Evan Meyer, a long, long time ago. Good to see him at KCU back in January, watching younger sister Caitlin Meyer. Right of center, it's Danner, hounded by Sharonda Jones. Jones, as Danner picked up her dribble, was all over her. Gets it to Woodson. Woodson into the lane. Little scoop shot, no good, and Bowens catches the air ball. Davis is on crutches, by the way. She's had an MRI. Results have not come back yet. They hope to have Davis for the national tournament, but that is a big, big if right now. Will not play, obviously, today. So Jones back to Caitlin Meyer. Straight away, it's Tanya Bowens with 8 on the shot clock. Bowens with the right hand, now double teamed by Smith and Black. Underneath to Stevens, Jones went back door and put it in. She caught somebody sleeping, and a beautiful pass to a streaking Sharonda Jones, who has had 2 nice ones. A beautiful cut and a 15-footer. She's got 4 points. 11-8, KCU, 13:20 to play. Zwick's first jumper is no good, and a foul underneath the basket. And it's going to be a loose ball foul, I believe, that's going to be charged to number 10, Caitlin Danner. So Ron Arnett having a conversation with the U1, Freddie Johnson, and Dave Saunders couldn't call that foul in until those 2 gentlemen got out of the way and finished up that conversation. And once they do, Saunders charges that foul to Caitlin Danner. It's her first and the team's first. Sarah Bechtel going to check in at the next dead ball. Underneath, Jones tries to strike again, no good. Ball batted around. It was in the hands of Bowens, and she was clobbered as she tried to raise up and hit a 15-footer. The foul on Tiaja Smith is her first and the team second. One other key, obviously, Smith, so active, so aggressive. They need her on the floor today. She is very foul prone because of her style of play. Picked up her first there. And they will need her to stay in this game and not get in any kind of foul trouble. Bechtel is in. Danner sits down. Stevens sits for KCU. First appearance for 22, Jana Glick, the sophomore from Massillon. Second free throw is no good as well. And the rebound for OCU, 12-8. Trailblazers trailing by 4 here on the OCU Trailblazer Basketball Network as we go under 13 minutes to play here in the first half. Zwick to the right wing, Smith looking back for Zwick underneath, little jump hook, she put it up and in. This is a time with Stevens on the bench for Zwick to really assert herself. Ron Arnett's got some good players coming off the bench, but really nobody that should be able to handle Kara Zwick if she can do what she can do. 12:25 to play. That's another Phil Simms number 2. Right side, it's Glick to Jones. Right side, Bowens for 3. Got it. Bounced around and got the shooter's roll. Tanya Bowens in double digits already. 11 points in the first 8 minutes. Chester going to come back in, and Destiny Turner going to check in for OCU at the next dead ball. We'll see if Bowens gets a breather here with a couple guards coming in. Woodson just had it taken away by Sharonda Jones. 3-on-1 break, and Jones takes it coast to coast and put it in. Half dozen, Tanya Bowens with 11, Jones with 6. They account for all 17 of KCU's points here in the first 8.5 minutes. Into the lane, Woodson lost it out of bounds. Jones thought it went off of Woodson, but it's going to stay with OCU. Mass substitutions. Rowe is back in. First appearance for Destiny Turner, and Bowens and Pugh sit down for KCU, as checking back in are Chester and Marshall. So the only new face is number 11, Destiny Turner, the freshman from Canal Winchester, who hit a 3 yesterday in that win over Johnson. Left side Row, left baseline, Bechtel's 3, in and out, no good. Rebound batted around, and it goes out of bounds. And Ron Arnett doesn't like the call. He thought it was going to be KCU basketball, but they say that it went off on one of the Lady Knights. So 11:20 to play here in the first half. Rick Cooper, Fairfield Media, and the OCU Trailblazer Basketball Network. Right side jumper by Bechtel is no good, and this one goes off KCU as well. So Sarah Bechtel, one of the 3-point specialists on this team, 0 of 2 coming off the bench here early. Sophomore from Worthington Kilbourne High School that had 15 with 3 threes in that third place game at this national tournament at OCU a year ago. Tournament will be here at OCU once again this year as Black fires a 3 no good, and the rebound into the hands of Glick, and a foul. I believe it's going to be Destiny Turner as she and Sarah Bechtel applied pressure after Glick got that rebound, and it is going to be charged to Turner. Looking forward, looks like a real good chance that both the men's and women's tournaments will be in this building next season. National championships together. First time they have done that since the, late 90s, maybe early 2000s when it was at Mid-America in Oklahoma City, which was a real treat if you're a KCU fan, as Jones put in another. She's got 8 points. That was back when the Knights and Lady Knights were both on top of their game, and they had some wars against Mid-America out in Oklahoma City. And so just a neat atmosphere when you bring, all those teams together. They actually used to do a 2A tournament out there. Mandy Ray has called a 30-second timeout as OCU now down 19-10. So they actually had 3 national championships that they would do at one time out in Oklahoma City. And Ben Bellarmine going to try to put 2 together. They've got an auxiliary gym here that is going to be finished soon at OCU. Hopefully by next year they'll host a couple of the consolation games in that gym, but most of it will be here. I was talking to some of the guys, Ben Bellman yesterday. Games will start as early as 8:30 in the morning, and the last one will tip at 9 at night. So if you love Christian college basketball, put it on your calendar right now, barring some kind of surprise at the national tournaments when the coaches committee actually votes on this. We will have 2 national championships in this building in March of 2014. 10:38 to play as Kara Zwick barreled into by Sharonda Jones near that left elbow, and they're going to get Sharonda for a push. Foul on Jones is her first, only the second on KCU. 10:36 to play. Stevens waiting patiently to come in, and the horn blows. Dave Saunders waves her in, and Jones will sit down. Looking to inbound is Shelby Rowe to Kara Zwick on the baseline. Zwick into the lane, backing down Stevens. Little turnaround, left-handed hook is right there. And the difference between that shot and the one that she got blocked earlier is she allowed her body to separate her from Stevens, and Stevens just couldn't get to the basketball. That's what good players do underneath the rim, as Marshall just hit a 3. The first team district performer from her days at East Carter High School in the 16th district is in the books with her first points. 3 now for Marshall, and the lead is up to 10. Right wing Shelby Rowe. Rowe going to try to get the step, got to the step but could not finish. Got around Marshall, weaved her way through the help, but could not do what is most important and finish at the rim. Ball loose on the floor, and Zwick just outworked Stevens to grab it. OCU with an advantage here if they can take advantage as Stevens late coming down. Black tried to throw it up near the rim and missed everything. Rebound Marshall for KCU. 22-12, Caitlin Meyer running things. Remember, Bowens isn't even on the floor right now, so KCU getting productive minutes without their first team All-American. Right baseline, Meyer for 3, bingo. Caitlin Meyer, 33% on threes coming in with 23 of them, and make it 24, and Mandy Ray wants a full timeout. 9:09 to play first half, not the start that the team in black wanted today. 25-12, KCU by 13. Back with more after this here on the OCU Trailblazer Basketball Network.
You're watching the NCCAA Division II MidEast Region Finals. Today's exciting tournament action brought to you in part by
Domino's Pizza. Handmade pan pizza with 2 layers of cheese, toppings to the edge, and a crust made from fresh dough. Domino's Pizza of Circleville, located on Lancaster Pike.
Subway. Eat fresh. Subway. Eat fresh.
Service Master Clean by Todd George. They will help you get clean and stay that way at work and at home. 740-687-1077.
Fairfield Christian Academy is pleased to offer students from preschool to high school an education of excellence, mid-state league sports, archery, media, drama, and music. Learn more at fairfieldchristianacademy.com.
Yeah, feeling some pressure. 9:06 to play here in the first half. KCU by 13. Lady Knights have gotten off to a very quick start in this building. Tiaja Smith off a Woodson screen to the right baseline, and Maritza Will, who is back into the game. Woodson right baseline and got the defender off of her feet. Marshall didn't play terrible D, but she reacted just enough that Woodson was able to force the foul call on Jessica Marshall. It's her first team third. Bowens to the table. She'll come in after the first free throw by Asia Woodson. That bounces around the rim, no good. So Bowens back in. Very, very productive minutes for Caitlin Meyer. Hit a three, but again, with your backups, when you're putting your All-American on the bench, all you're looking for is to hold the fort, and she did that and more. Second free throw missed as well by Woodson, so the lead stays at 13. Right baseline, Bowens underneath to Stevens. Back to Bowens. This is Marshall's three right there. That's the All-American, knowing where those shooters are going to be. She got into the lane, and they converged, and she kicked. 28-12. The lead is 16 as we near 8 minutes to play first half. Woodson to Zwick. A little pick and pop. It's right there. Nicely done. Kara Zwick, good sign if you're an OCU fan with a half dozen here early. Again, she is going to have to be a big factor in this game. She had 29 in this building a week ago when she hit, 2 or 3 threes against Johnson. She was just sensational. And they need a similar performance today as Woodson using her quicks to take it away from Stevens. 3-on-2, Woodson under control, took it to the basket. She was not going to let Bowens force a cheap charge on her. Under control, Asia Woodson took it right at Bowens. She has 10 in this game. She and Bowens really having a battle right now. It's 11-10 Tanya, and a reach in on Kara Zwick, who tried to take it away from Tanya Bowens. First on Zwick, it is number 4 on the Trailblazers. Here comes Caitlin Danner back in scoreless. Started at the 4, Shelby Rowe back in scoreless. Zwick will sit down with 6 points and a foul, and Chelsea Black will sit down as well. Sharonda Jones back for KCU. She returns with 8 points and 1 foul. Jana Glick sits down scoreless. Glick, really one of those unsung heroes. Quietly has given Ron Arnett 7 points and 7 rebounds a game. Bowens trying to go backdoor underneath to Smith. And what are they going to call here? Foul on Shelby Rowe. I think Mandy Ray wanted to travel as Bowens had a little bit of trouble grabbing the basketball, and I think it's a good no call by the U2 Doug Force from Huntington. She never had possession, thus she cannot travel. Into the lane, Jones got free again. 10 points for Sharonda Jones. She has been a huge spark in this first half. Rowe into the lane, scoop shot no, but Jessica Marshall got her on the arm, and she'll shoot 2. Will Shelby Rowe. That's number 2 on the junior Jessica Marshall. So KCU only with 4 as a team, but 2 of them on Marshall, who again gives Ron Arnett about 7.5 points and 6 rebounds. So that is a big blow, and Shelby Rowe cannot make the first free throw. Rowe, 78% coming in, number 9 in the nation. Back 2 years ago, remember how hot of a shooter she was from the charity stripe. 57 of 63 back in 2011 for 91%. She missed the second one there. It's 30-16. Right side, it's Pugh. Pugh cross court to Bowens, right in front of Mandy Ray, the OCU head coach. Cross court to Pugh, will get it back out to Chester. 15 on the shot clock, under 7 minutes to play in the half, and Chester had it taken away by Woodson, who's gonna go uncontested to the other end for 2 more. Asia Woodson with a dozen, and she slapped the inbounds out of bounds as well. It'll stay with the Lady Knights, 6:45 to play. Here in the first half, 30-18. KCU by a dozen. It has been Bowens and Jones, and really nobody else. They are the primary culprits right now, wreaking havoc against this Trailblazer defense. Jones looking underneath for Stevens, trying to make a tough pass. She is a phenomenal passer. Ron Arnett has told me that for several years now. They had Big Ashley Savage a year ago that really was a factor. They called her, Big Country or Big Mountain something. But Stevens earned so many minutes just because she was a better passer out of the post. You got a glimpse at it there. Most post players wouldn't even attempt to make that pass, and Stevens very nearly completed it. 30-18, 6:10 to play in the half. KCU misses on the offensive end, and the Trailblazers can get within 10 or maybe 9 with a 3. Top of the key, Danner. Danner to Woodson with 12 on the shot clock, working against Jones. That's got to be a foul. There's contact as Woodson and Jones collide. She impeded the process of the offensive player, and I don't know how Dave Saunders can hold the whistle on that one. It goes out of bounds off of Sharonda Jones, and Ron Arnett giving an earful right now to Freddie Johnson. He's not happy, but you got to call something when there's a collision that impacts the play and she loses the basketball. She impeded the process of the progress of the offensive player. You got to make a call underneath Will, and they're going to make a call here as Will and Pugh getting close and personal. They're going to call a foul on Kelsey Pugh. It's her first, team 5th, and it's ironic that it's Ron Arnett that was most upset on the KCU bench because they ended up with the basketball. So I'm not sure what he was barking about, but he's not happy either, despite leading by a dozen here with under 6 minutes to play. Woodson off a screen, fires a 3, no good, and Jones up high to grab the defensive rebound for KCU. Bowens looking to run. Meyer left side, thought about a 3. Instead, we'll bring it back out and we'll set it up, and at least appears allow Bowens to work at the 2 here on this offensive set. They go right wing to Bowens, who brings it up top of the key. Shot clock is down to 8. Bowens gonna fire a 3 on the rim, no good. The rebound run down by Kelsey Pugh, who missed up close. Ball on the floor, Danner on the floor, Pugh on the floor, and they're gonna call a jump ball. That's gonna give it back to OCU with 5:05 to play in the half. Kara Zwick back in with 6 points and a foul as Shelby Rowe will sit down. Rowe has played 55 minutes. The team has played 55 minutes over the past 2 days, and OCU's leading scorer, Shelby Rowe, has still yet to score. Obviously, that's a storyline, and they just called an illegal screen on Maritza Will, who apparently was not set when she set that screen, and that's number 1 on Will, the sophomore from Franklin Heights. 6 on the team. Under 5 minutes to play here in the first half. Rick Cooper and the OCU Trailblazer Basketball Network. It has been a treat. The privilege has been all ours to bring you this championship. Sure hope you're enjoying it. And Kara Zwick stepping out on Caitlin Meyer, just forced a travel as under duress. Meyer shuffled the feed here at the 4:41 mark. And Ron Arnett wants a timeout. He says, let's make it a 30. So we'll keep it right here. Gives me a chance to tell you about another one of our preferred sponsors of OCU Athletics, the Circleville Subways. They've got that, I'm not even going to, I've seen all these celebrities have trouble pronouncing this on the Subway commercials. I'll give it a try. How about the February special, as most of their footlongs $5, plenty of them $6 as well. Again, it's the February special at the Circleville Subways. Subway, eat fresh. We say thanks to Jonna Thompson and the crew over at the Circleville Subways. They have sponsored OCU Athletics all season long. If you go to the OCU Athletics homepage, we have done a feature all year with head coach Tony Stockman. Every 2-3 weeks we sit down with him and talk basketball, but we talk some other areas of OCU and of the Stockman family life as well, and they have sponsored that. We sure appreciate that and hope you'll check it out. The Coach's Corner segment with OCU head coach Tony Stockman available on demand on the OCU website. Underneath Maritza Will, working against Stevens, trying to step through, and Stevens would not budge. Left side, Woodson, a long 2. Foot on the line, it's 2, not 3. She has 14, and another deflected pass on the inbound. Marshall races in. She's going to come back in with 2 fouls. Ron Arnett doesn't always do that, so must have a trust in Jessica Marshall. with 8 players. Maybe doesn't have the luxury to sit players with 2 fouls. Bowens and Smith really working each other as Bowens brings it up the floor. Stevens creates some space with a screen. Bowens to the rim, no good. Ball batted around, and Stevens saves it to the right baseline. Bowens in all kinds of trouble, and Stevens again creates some space. Monica Stevens, a smart player, twice on this series has really helped her guards against some of that OCU pressure. Jones tried to hit again, no good. Stevens, another offensive rebound. This is Bowens, this is 3, she hit again. 14 for the junior from Louisa, Kentucky. Started her career at Brescia, was miserable. Ron Arnett in Myrtle Beach on the 7th floor of a high-rise got a call from the Brescia coach that said, I've got a player that wants to come home, and she was so good, was Bowens, that every NAIA basically in the state wanted her. Arnett didn't even try to recruit her, didn't think he had a chance, and out of nowhere made his vacation when he got a call that Bowens wanted to return to the Northeast Kentucky area and continue her playing days at KCU. As Stevens underneath, her putback no, battle for the basketball, Zwick on the floor, and they're going to get a foul on Tanya Bowens. Outstanding effort by everybody, but in particular the senior Kara Zwick. And you talk about forcing a foul call. Umpire Freddie Johnson had absolutely no choice there after Zwick had it and Bowens tripped over top of her. It's number 1 on Bowens. It is number 6 on the Lady Knights with 3:02 to play here in the first half. 33-20. Lead is 13 for the number 1 seeded Lady Knights, looking for their 29th consecutive MidEast Region championship as Bechtel is back in, went into the lane and lost it to Marshall. It's a 3-on-2 advantage with Smith racing back to be that 3rd defender, and she took it away. What effort by the freshman from Gahanna Lincoln. Outlet to Woodson, back to Danner, threw it at her hips, or her heels I should say, or Danner may have had a 3-point attempt underneath Zwick, and an ill-advised pass there. And OCU fortunate to live to talk about. They did a reset on that shot clock, and the referee Dave Saunders right on top of that. They will put it at 13. There was no shot by OCU, just a bunch of deflections and errant passes, so no reason to reset. It'll stay with 13 on the clock and 2:22 to play on the game clock. They hand it off to Woodson, the inbounder. Woodson underneath to the right block, and they got another foul on Sharonda Jones. So that's number 2 on Jones. It's number 7 on the team. Mandy Ray deeper, even with the Davis injury, she has clearly more depth than Arnett. So Jessica Marshall with 2 and Jones with 2 is clearly a storyline in this game. And the first one by Asia Woodson is up and in. She has a 15-point first half. Caitlin Danner will sit down for OCU. Danner sits scoreless. Shelby Rowe returns scoreless. The second free throw did everything but stay down for Asia Woodson. 33-21, 2:10 to play in the half. OCU, obviously a little mini run here would be a much needed boost as they trail by a dozen. Bowens goes opposite the screen that Glick tried to set, goes left wing to Marshall. Glick does get a screen to set. She rolls to the basket, went to the left hand and put it in. Beautiful 2-man game there. And they finish near the rim with number 22, Jana Glick, the sophomore from Massillon. And not only did she finish, she went to the left hand as she rolled beautifully to the basket. 35-21, minute 33 to play in the half. Trailblazers trailing by 14. You're watching the MidEast Region Women's Championship game. The men will follow at approximately 3 p.m. Smith into the lane, runner no good, and a rebound that was in the hands of Jana Glick, but Glick may have brought it down a little bit too much, and Tiaja Smith right there to pounce on it and force the tie-up. Possession arrow gives it to the Lady Knights. Minute 15 to play. 35-21, 20 on the shot clock. This is Jessica Marshall, the junior from right near KCU and Grayson. Bowens 12-footer on the rim, no good. Everybody going to the backboards for OCU, and it's Asia Woodson that comes away with the basketball. 55 seconds left underneath. Bechtel, who could not keep it, caught it, lost it. Bowens to the other end, put it up on the rim, no good. Glick tried to keep it alive, no. Taken away by Shelby Rowe. About a 15-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock that you see on your screen as Shelby Rowe got free and put in her first points of this regional tournament. Be nice to get her going. Right side jumper is no good, and OCU with 20 seconds left can hold it for one. As Smith looking to push it. Rowe, a quick another one, no. Rebound Bechtel. She'll bring it back out with 13 seconds to play in the half. Down to 10, 35-23. Bechtel with it, with 5, fires a 3, no good. Rebound into the hands of Sharonda Jones, and Jones threw it away. Shelby Rowe nearly put it in at the buzzer. Wow. Ron Arnett can't be too happy with that. I thought Jones was just going to hold the basketball and let the clock expire. She was 90 feet away from the basket, and instead, all of a sudden, with about 3 seconds on the clock, she tries an outlet pass. Rowe took it away, but could not make her pay. So it's a wild ending to a first 20 minutes of basketball. KCU, very impressive in the first 20 minutes. They lead by a dozen, 35-23. Coming up, the halftime show. We'll take a look at the first half numbers and preview game number 2 between the OCU and KCU men. All that coming up here on the OCU Trailblazer Basketball Network.
Today's MidEast Region Finals brought to you in part by
Domino's Pizza. Handmade pan pizza with 2 layers of cheese, toppings to the edge, and a crust made from fresh dough. Domino's Pizza of Circleville, located on Lancaster Pike.
Subway. Eat fresh. Subway. Eat fresh.
Service Master Clean by Todd George. They will help you get clean and stay that way at work and at home. 740-687-1077.
Fairfield Christian Academy is pleased to offer students from preschool to high school an education of excellence, mid-state league sports, archery, media, drama, and music. Learn more at fairfieldchristianacademy.com.
Did you buy the flashlight and the batteries?
Yes.
Did you make sure we're not missing anything in the first aid kit?
Yup.
Did you go through the plan with the kids again?
Yes.
The more you prepare today, the more you'll be able to reduce the devastating effects of a tornado, an earthquake, a power outage, or any other disaster. Get a kit, make a plan, be informed. Visit ready.gov.
Ohio Christian University offers accredited, career-focused undergraduate and graduate degree programs for busy adults. Classes are convenient, offered online or evenings and weekends at our 12 locations. OCU will prepare you for your next step and help you discover your higher purpose.
We invite you to attend Ohio Christian University.
I didn't need help from anybody. I was good at everything. And this, the drugs and the alcohol, I couldn't stop doing it. I went down a path of destruction, just about escaping the feelings. I never used one without the other. It was chaos. A dump truck, insanity plowed into us. I know it was the devil. I actually got suspended from baseball. I said, I need help, but I can't do it anymore. I fell on my own. You do with me what you want to do with me, but I surrender.
Well, it has been Asia Woodson, Tanya Bowens, and Sharonda Jones that have been the 3 main weapons in this game. OCU has only had 3 players score in the first 20 minutes, and it is Asia Woodson with 15 of OCU's 23 in the first 20 minutes. And on the KCU side of things, Tanya Bowens and Sharonda Jones combining for 24 of KCU's 35. And it was Bowens and Woodson that really got these 2 teams going, and it is KCU by a dozen, Bowling 35-23 here at the intermission. We'll do some scoring numbers, and then we'll give you some more in-depth numbers when they provide them for us here in the Maxwell Leadership Center. We are on the campus of Ohio Christian University, Circleville, Ohio. Beautiful facility to host this fine tournament, and it is great to have you with us here on the OCU Trailblazer Basketball Network. We'll be with you for the 3 p.m. game as well between the OCU and KCU men, and hope you'll tune in for that game. But scoring numbers in this first half, it was the two-time first-team All-American, two-time national tournament MVP Tanya Bowens with 14 points. Sharonda Jones, the former Lady Trailblazer, with 10 already in the first half. She has been a big factor. With Bowens, you kind of know she's going to get hers. Kind of the Michael Jordan of this level of athletics, and she needs some help. And it is Scottie Pippen in the form of Sharonda Jones today that has given KCU 10 points in the first half. Jessica Marshall with 6. Caitlin Meyer hit a 3 in the first half, has 3, and Jana Glick with 2. KCU only 2 free throws in that first half. They split them for 50%. For OCU, only 3 players have scored. Asia Woodson with 15, Kara Zwick with 6, and Shelby Rowe with 2 late in that first half. Trailblazers did shoot 8 free throws. Unfortunately, they've only made 3 for 38%. In terms of foul trouble, the only players with 2 are on the KCU side of things. It is Jessica Marshall, their starting small forward, with 2 personal fouls, and Sharonda Jones, their junior starting power forward from Pompano Beach, Florida, has 2 fouls as well. And again, it is worth mentioning one more time, KCU only with 8 players in uniform, so any kind of foul trouble can be and will be catastrophic to this team today. But right now, they are clicking on almost all cylinders. Tanya Bowens getting others involved and doing a great job scoring herself. 14 points to lead the way. Asia Woodson with a game-high 15 for OCU, but she's got to get some help. They've got to have some other firepower. Woodson is not going to knock off the 6-time defending champs by herself, as KCU hopes to win their 29th consecutive regional championship. They haven't all been MidEast regions. They kind of realigned regions back in the mid to late 90s, but whatever region they've been in, KCU has won 28 of them in a row. They've won 29 in school history, and they're going to look for number 30 here with 20 more minutes of basketball to play. So halftime in the Maxwell Leadership Center, it is KCU 35, OCU 23. Back with more first half stats after this 2-minute timeout here on the OCU Trailblazer Basketball Network.
You're watching the NCCAA Division II MidEast Region Finals. Today's exciting tournament action brought to you in part by
Domino's Pizza. Handmade pan pizza with 2 layers of cheese, toppings to the edge, and a crust made from fresh dough. Domino's Pizza of Circleville, located on Lancaster Pike.
Subway. Eat fresh. Subway. Eat fresh.
Service Master Clean by Todd George. They will help you get clean and stay that way at work and at home. 740-687-1077.
Fairfield Christian Academy is pleased to offer students from preschool to high school an education of excellence. Mid-State League sports, archery, media, drama, and music. Learn more at fairfieldchristianacademy.com.
35-23 is our halftime score. Taking a look at some of the other numbers that may interest you in this first 20 minutes of basketball. The battle of the backboards, if these statistics are right, they are staggering, as OCU minus 17 in rebounding margin in the first half. KCU with 24 boards, OCU with only 7. In terms of turnovers, the Lady Knights have turned it over 11 times. They have 10 assists. OCU has turned it over 7 times, and they have dished out 5 assists. The leading rebounder for OCU in that first half is Kara Zwick with 2 boards. Leading rebounder for KCU is Monica Stevens. She did not score in the first 20 minutes, but she does have 7 rebounds, 4 assists, a block shot, and a steal. So Stevens not getting many looks offensively, only 2 field goal attempts, but really making her presence felt in some other areas. Leading assist man for OCU, Tiaja Smith with 2 dimes. Monica Stevens from that that center position, has a team high and a game high 4 assists for KCU. So again, shooting numbers, Trailblazers 35% from the field, 9 of 26, 25% on threes, 2 of 8. KCU 48% from two-point range, 14 of 29, and they have hit a blistering 6 of 9 from behind the arc for 67%. Third meeting of the year. KCU won the first meeting on their home floor back in January when they knocked off OCU 76-59. Asia Woodson, the only Trailblazer in double digits with 16 in that one. Monica Stevens, a big day with 16 and 7. OCU answered on February the 5th, winning 72-68 in this building in overtime when Shelby Rowe had 25 points on 5 threes. The winner of the third and final meeting, at least let me back up. This is the third meeting. There could very easily be a fourth, but to the winner of the third meeting goes the MidEast Region Championship, and right now it is KCU by a dozen. We'll take our final timeout. Second half action is coming up next here on the Ohio Christian University Trailblazer Basketball Network.
You're watching the NCCAA Division II MidEast Region Finals. Today's exciting tournament action brought to you in part by
Domino's Pizza. Handmade pan pizza with 2 layers of cheese, toppings to the edge, and a crust made from fresh dough. Domino's Pizza of Circleville, located on Lancaster Pike.
Subway. Eat fresh. Subway. Eat fresh.
Service Master Clean by Todd George. They will help you get clean and stay that way at work and at home. 740-687-1077.
Fairfield Christian Academy is pleased to offer students from preschool to high school an education of excellence, mid-state league sports, archery, media, drama, and music. Learn more at fairfieldchristianacademy.com.
Yes.
Did you buy the flashlight and the batteries?
Yes.
Did you make sure we're not missing anything in the first aid kit?
Yup.
Did you go through the plan with the kids again?
Yes.
The more you prepare today, the more you'll be able to reduce the devastating effects of a tornado, an earthquake, a power outage, or any other disaster. Get a kit, make a plan, be informed. Visit ready.gov.
Well, obtaining a college degree is important to me because I'm a single mother. I work full-time and I want a better life for me and my son, and I realize I'm the only one that can do that.
I needed the convenience of being able to work full-time, as well as still get my bachelor's degree in psychology, as well as be a part of a family and be a wife.
Obtaining a college degree to me means that I can further my career in getting a better job, as well as meeting my end goal, which would be to become a professor someday.
Here at Ohio Christian University, we offer programs in a convenient format to help serve the adult that might not have time to go to school during the day or take classes multiple days during the week. We offer classes one night a week. You take one class at a time, either in an on-site format, or if you prefer online, we offer online classes just the same, one class at a time.
The AGS program is set up to where it's very convenient for me as a working adult to be able to still obtain my bachelor's degree.
The flexibility is very good with the AGS program. I can do my homework whenever I have time, whether it's at night or if I'm up early in the morning, I can do it at that time. And really you can work a full-time job and go to school full-time at the same time. So convenience is one of the greater advantages to the AGS program.
The sky is the limit with the flexibility at Ohio Christian University.
You have the option to attend class at one of our 12 locations, and you can choose whichever is most convenient, closest to your home or closest to your workplace. If that doesn't work for you, you also have the option to take class online without ever having to step foot into a classroom. One other neat aspect is that you only have to register for all of your classes one time. There's no standing in line and no additional waiting.
We invite you to attend Ohio Christian University.
You're watching the NCCAA Division II MidEast Region Finals. Today's exciting tournament action brought to you in part by
Domino's Pizza. Handmade pan pizza with 2 layers of cheese, toppings to the edge, and a crust made from fresh dough. Domino's Pizza of Circleville, located on Lancaster Pike.
Subway. Eat fresh. Subway. Eat fresh.
Service Master Clean by Todd George. They will help you get clean and stay that way at work and at home. 740-687-1077.
Fairfield Christian Academy is pleased to offer students from preschool to high school an education of excellence, mid-state league sports, archery, media, drama, and music. Learn more at fairfieldchristianacademy.com.
Hey, sorry.
No, you're good.
Second half just about set to get underway. OCU trailing by a dozen here in this MidEast Region Championship game, 35-23. Rick Cooper and the OCU Trailblazer Basketball Network. Stick around after this game. They will announce the women's region team from the regular season. They're also putting together an all-tournament team that they will announce as well. Into the lane, Woodson, who put it up and in. So Asia Woodson gets going here early in the second half. 17 for the freshman from Toledo. 35-25, the lead is 10. You kind of see a new intensity out there defensively, and it leads to a turnover immediately for OCU. So the effort on that last defensive set, there was a considerable difference. 35-25, right baseline Woodson underneath to Zwick. Little jump hook, bounced around the rim, no good. And the basketball went out of bounds off KCU. It'll stay with OCU. Trailblazers an opportunity to get this to single digits, 19-14 to play in the game. MidEast Region Championship game. Into the lane, Tiasia Smith put it up and in. First points of the game for the freshman from Gahanna. And all of a sudden, this is an 8-point game as OCU has run off 4 in a row to begin this second half, 35-27. Left side, it's Chester. Chester to the baseline, and Bowens for 3. Back of the rim, no good. And Maritza Will in the right place, positioning-wise, grabs the rebound over Monica Stevens. Woodson to the other end. This would be 6 in a row, but she came up short. Rebound, Maritza Will. Woodson into the lane again. Some contact, no good. Will an offensive rebound. Will missed the bunny. Will got it again, but could not finish, and she was fouled and will shoot 2. Outstanding effort by OCU. The foul is going to be charged on Bowens. It's her second. How in the world did Woodson and Will miss those shots up close? But Trailblazers will take the free throws and an opportunity here. And Will, if you can see on the screen, fellas, I don't know if we can show that, is about a foot. Now she gets a little closer. No, now she's a shoe length behind that free throw line. Second one is no good. She missed a pair, and the rebound goes out of bounds off Sharonda Jones. I've never noticed that with Maritza Will. I don't know if that's something she has done of late. She's a 62% free throw shooter, but into the Tiasia Smith, missed one from up close, and a rebound, and they're going to call a jump ball, and the possession arrow is going to keep it with OCU. And Mandy Ray a little worked up, took a big breather, a big deep breath, and they actually forgot to change the arrow starting the second half, and so it'll go to KCU. But Didn't like that call, Mandy Ray, talking about Jones and Smith battling. Thought Jones came over the back, and that should have been a foul, and instead they call a foul on Tiaja Smith here at the right forecourt, and Ray still not happy. It's number 2 on Tiaja Smith, the first on the team here in the second half. 18-19 to play. Marshall to the right side and Bowens. Bowens underneath to Stevens, cross court to Chester. Chester to Marshall, looking underneath for Stevens, who sealed beautifully, put it up with the left hand. The bucket is good, and she was fouled. That basket is good for Monica Stevens. The foul is going to be charged to an undersized, undermanned, fighting for her life, Caitlin Danner. It's her second and the team's second. Monica Stevens with 2 points in this game, first points of the game, and she puts in the free throw as well. Boy, did she have great positioning. I mean, you are D-O-N-E when you allow somebody to catch it where Stevens did. She and Will are banging hard underneath. Fellas, I don't know if we can get that on the screen. Wow, there's some intensity underneath the basket. Bowens with a steal for the Lady Knights. Top of the key, Chester. Left baseline, Marshall, 15 feet away, bingo! And Ron Arnett off the bench applauding the ball movement there. I don't think the ball hit the ground. Outstanding ball movement by KCU late on that series, and it led to the Marshall jumper. It's 40-27, 17:30 to play. Will a little step through to create space. To Woodson, back to Will, show shot into the lane, and Stevens fouled her. Second on Monica Stevens, second on the team, and Maritza Will go back to the free throw line where she missed 2 a moment ago. Again, worth noting that that blue sneaker, she kind of measures it off and then takes about a sneaker length back from the charity stripe, and she has now missed 3 in a row. Kara Zwick back in as Caitlin Danner will sit down. I still feel like Zwick is the key in this game. I mean, there's just some firepower that Kara Zwick brings to the basketball game that not everybody has. At 29 last week in this building, we've already talked about that, and I just feel like she has got to turn it on if OCU is going to stay in this game. 40-27, Stevens underneath, elects to bring it out to the baseline and bring it back out to Tanya Bowens on the left wing. Bowens to the left baseline, creates a double team, sets up Jones. Back to Bowen. Shot clock is down to 10. This is Chester trying to go underneath, deflected by Rowe. Shot clock is at 5. OCU never had the possession. Underneath, Stevens with 2 on the clock, lost the basketball, and they're going to call a 30-second shot clock violation as that thing went off just as that ball bounced out of bounds. So good defense there by the Trailblazers. I got a little bit nervous with 3 on the clock when Stevens again had outstanding position but could not make OCU pay. 13-point advantage, 40-27. Shelby Rowe, the senior, all-time leading scorer, goes to the right wing, and the true freshman, Tiaja Smith. Smith to Rowe, will fire a 3, got it! Big basket for OCU, and even bigger for Shelby Rowe. Had a field goal late in that first half, and now triples here. Let's see if she can get it going. 40-30. She's got some firepower, and there's a steal by Rowe. She lost it. Jones put it up from up close, no good. And the rebound, Woodson. Woodson looking to run. Woodson into the lane, lost it, goes to Zwick. Top of the key, Smith. Smith straight down the lane, dropped it off to Will, and Jones fouled her, and Will shoot 2. That is number 3 on Sharonda Jones. So Ron Arnett with a decision, and it is no decision as he gives a pep talk to Jana Glick before he sends her in to take over for Stevens after this first free throw from Maritza Will. And you want a statistic that is concerning. The Trailblazers 3 of 12 before that first free throw by Will at the charity stripe, make it now 4 of 13. Chris Dudley, Michael Cage, Shaquille O'Neal, they'd all be proud. 31%. Second one is no good, so Will splits a pair, and a jump ball is going to be called, and the possession arrow is going to stay with OCU. So 40-31, fresh 30 with 16:02 to play. Trailblazers in a line along that free throw line as Woodson brings it into Zwick. Zwick to the free throw line extended. Back out to Maritza Will. Under 16 minutes to play. Woodson again off a screen. Looking to work. Right side runner, no good. Came up short. And the ball went out of bounds off of one of the Trailblazers. I believe it's Woodson. And it will go back to KCU. Woodson had a pretty good look there. Kind of short-armed it after she got the step on that right side. 15:45 to play. Both the OCU and KCU men in the stands right now watching this one. They will play at 3 p.m. for the men's regional championship. Right side, Bowen for three, no good. Rebound, Shelby Rowe. It's a 2-on-2 break. Rowe and Woodson against Marshall and Chester fouled Shelby Rowe out in transition. Rowe will shoot two. That is number one on the senior from Louisville, Kentucky, Rachel Chester. And Shelby Rowe, back on November 2nd, past Brenda Baker Carter as the all-time leading scorer here at OCU. Will shoot free throws 15 and 16 for the Trailblazers, and the first one is up and in. 6 points for Shelby Rowe. Trailblazers now 5 of 15 for 33% from the line. One more for Rowe in her black uniform today as the Trailblazers, the 2 seed, the lower seed, pinballs that one around. It looked like it was going to carry them out and then went right back in. So near steal as Tiaja Smith, Rowe, and Woodson applying pressure. Remember, no 10-second violation in the college game for the weekend. Tiaja Smith coming right at us at press row. Just slapped that basketball out of bounds. I think everybody okay. Ball will stay with KCU. It'll be Jessica Marshall, the junior from Grayson, that will inbound right in front of us. Does so to Caitlin Meyer, who has checked in. So obviously big minutes here for KCU as Ron Arnett gives Tanya Bowens a quick breather. They did a fantastic job with Bowens on the bench in that first half. Chester to the baseline. Chester put it up and in. She got the step with the screen, and the help defense was late getting there. First two for Rachel Chester. Deflected pass into the hands of Zwick. To the right baseline, Rose. Zwick, 4-3, got it! Kara Zwick with 9. Until last weekend, she had only hit like 3 threes for the season and caught fire in that Johnson win when Kara Zwick had 2 threes. Yeah, it's like her 6th 3 for the year, but she is heating up at the right time from outside. Shot up close, no good, and Zwick another rebound. 42-36, Rowe to fire a 3, bingo! Shelby Rowe with 8 here in the second half, 10 for the game. The Trailblazer fans to their feet, and Ron Arnett says, I want a timeout. Wow, this is the loudest I've heard this building all season. They are rocking in the Maxwell Leadership Center. 14:06 to play in the game. 42-39 KCU. You're listening and watching the MidEast Region Championship game here on the OCU Trailblazer Basketball Network.
You're watching the NCCAA Division II MidEast Region Finals. Today's exciting tournament action brought to you in part by
Domino's Pizza. Handmade pan pizza with 2 layers of cheese, toppings to the edge, and a crust made from fresh dough. Domino's Pizza of Circleville, located on Lancaster Pike.
Subway, eat fresh. Subway, eat fresh.
Service Master Clean by Todd George. They will help you get clean and stay that way at work and at home. 740-687-1077.
Fairfield Christian Academy is pleased to offer students from preschool to high school an education of excellence, mid-state league sports, archery, media, drama, and music. Learn more at fairfieldchristianacademy.com.
Just when you thought KCU was pulling away, You forgot about the heart of a champion. This OCU team with some seniors that are looking to do something that nobody has done in 30 years, and that's beat KCU in a regional championship game. Shelby Rowe heating up with 10, 8 of them in the second half. Zwick with a big 3, only her 6th made 3 of the season. Has made 3 of those 6 in the last 7 days. 42-39, under 14 minutes to play. Bowens is back in, fires a 3 from the baseline, no good. Stevens had it, fell to the ground. They're gonna say she lost the basketball when she was falling. That's why there was no travel, and the 3 is no good anyway. Rebound OCU. Black is back in. Black's runner right side, no good. A flat-footed rebound to Glick, and a foul after she secured that rebound. It's gonna be charged to Chelsea Black. First foul on Black, 3rd on the team. Second time the Trailblazers have had a nice move to the rim tonight and kind of short-armed it. Black did it there, Woodson did it in the first half. 42-39, 13:30 to play. Right baseline, it's Caitlin Meyer. Meyer to Marshall. Marshall back out to Tanya Bowens, and Tasia Smith just picked up her 3rd personal foul. So Smith has got to be careful now. She fouled out last weekend against Johnson, got a 4th. You felt like she had to be careful. The next thing you knew, she picked up a 5th foul about 70 feet away from the basket. So got to be careful. A 4th one here early in the second half would be devastating. 42-39, 13-12 to play in the game. Underneath, Stevens got free, put it up, no. But Kara Zwick hammered Stevens, and she'll step to the line and get 2. It's number 2 on Zwick, number 5 on OCU. KCU with 4 team fouls here through 6 minutes and 51 seconds. And Monica Stevens, the junior from Olive Hill, will go to the line and shoot 2. The first one is up and in. 4 points for Monica Stevens, 3rd-year player. Came from Moorhead State, but never played at Moorhead. Used no eligibility there. Tasia Smith sits down for the Trailblazers. It is second one by Stevens is good again. She has 5. All of them here in the second half. Here comes Kelsey Pugh. So it's Pugh, Meyer, Bowens, Glick, and Stevens for KCU. Will, Rowe, Woodson, Zwick, and Black for OCU. To the left wing, it's Chelsea Black. In no hurry here, under 13 minutes to play in the game. The Trailblazers right back in it. They trail by only 5, 44-39. Rowe on the run. That baseline jumper was too strong, and the rebound into the hands of Bowens. Bowens races up the floor and then gets set on the left forecourt. Stevens looking to hit somebody with a screen. Bowens went away from her there, but Stevens has been a factor. 15 on the shot clock. Right wing, it's Kelsey Pugh. Pugh, little pick and roll with Glick, who threw another one up on the rim. Could not finish this time. Finished with the left hand in the exact same scenario in the first half. Zwick to the other end, went to the right hand and put it in. 11 points for Kara Zwick. 44-41, 12-12 to play in the game. Trailblazers within 3. Pugh off a screen from Glick. Hands it off to Bowens. They leave Bowens as they both follow Glick, and she put it up and in. Some miscommunication there as 2 players followed. It was Pugh, not Glick. Right side 3, Shelby Rowe put it in. 13 for Shelby Rowe. 46-44. Nearing the 11:30 mark to play in this game. KCU by 2 in the MidEast Region Women's Championship game. Bowens off a screen. 15-footer left elbow is no good, and Zwick the defensive rebound. Quick outlet, it's a 3-on-1 to Woodson. This would tie it, no, but she'll shoot 2. The foul is going to be charged to 22 Jana Glick, and maybe worth noting that all of this has happened with Sharonda Jones on the KCU bench with 3 fouls, and Ron Arnett is not going to wait any longer to bring her in. She'll come in after this first free throw from Woodson, which is no good. So OCU now 6 of 17 from the charity stripe. Is that correct? 6 of 17 for 35%. Ron Arnett wants a full timeout. Jones is in. We'll see how much of a factor she can be. Back with more of the MidEast Region Championship game after this timeout here on the Trailblazer Basketball Network.
You're watching the NCCAA Division II MidEast Region Finals. Today's exciting tournament action brought to you in part by
Domino's Pizza. Handmade pan pizza with 2 layers of cheese, toppings to the edge, and a crust made from fresh dough. Domino's Pizza of Circleville, located on Lancaster Pike.
Subway, eat fresh. Subway, eat fresh.
Service Master Clean by Todd George. They will help you get clean and stay that way at work and at home. 740-687-1077.
Fairfield Christian Academy is pleased to offer students from preschool to high school an education of excellence, mid-state league sports, archery, media, drama, and music. Learn more at fairfieldchristianacademy.com.
Teams won on their home floor in the regular season, and they have had some good ones in the MidEast Region tournament over the years as well. You look back on some of the great games. Back in 2010, KCU 76-70. Trailblazers were down 18 in that game. They cut the lead to two different times in the second half. Kristen Heck had 32 and 9 to lead KCU. She was 9 of 9 in the first half, 15 of 21 for the game as Woodson hits another free throw. We're going to try to share some of those great games. Of course, that national championship game a couple seasons ago when Shelby Rowe was a freshman. Back in 2010, there have been some good meetings. Trailblazers want to win one in the postseason, which they have not done yet. 46-45. Trailblazers within one as we hit the 11-minute mark to play in this game. Rick Cooper and the OCU Trailblazer Basketball Network, and man, we are pumped to bring this coverage to you. I hope you've enjoyed it. And a blocking foul is going to be charged on Chelsea Black as she and Kelsey Pugh collided near that right block. The foul on Black is her second, and it is number 6 on OCU here at the 10:53 mark. So free throws the rest of the way on every OCU foul, at least on the defensive end. 46-45 as Jones, or make that Meyer, just threw it away. Trailblazers with an opportunity to take the lead. Who would have thunk it? Trailing by a dozen at the intermission. Woodson to give them the lead. Yes, she put it in. OCU leads. Asia Woodson with 20 points. And it's OCU 47, KCU 46. Left wing Bowens. Bowens picked up by Woodson now as Tiaja Smith sits with those 3 fouls. Big matchup here between the 2 leading scorers on these teams, and a screen separates Bowens from Woodson, and Shelby Rowe guilty of a foul providing help. Second on Rowe, and again, now we stop the clock from 10:09 on, and KCU, the 71% free throw shooting team, number 3 in America, is going to get an opportunity to do some damage from the line. First appearance of the day for Katie Fuller, the 5'6" freshman from Proctorville, has checked in, 3 points and 1.4 boards. As Rose sits down, the free throw is good for Tanya Bowens. Give her 17 in this game. So some Lady Knights beginning to provide some assistance. Bowens with 18. Now 6 of 7 is what we've got the Lady Knights in this basketball game from the charity stripe. 86%, but Bowens leading the way with 18. Jones has been stuck on 10, plagued by fouls. She is back in for the Lady Knights, however. Monica Stevens has added 5, all of them here in the second half. Black tried to get it underneath, and they're going to call a kick. It was a late call. I think it was the right call, but it just took a moment for Freddie Johnson to make that call. May have had some whistle issues like Mr. Jim Burr the other night. If you watch that Ohio State game, poor fella, guy's been refereeing games for 40 years, one of the legends, and the NCAA and that stinking whistle. I didn't realize there were so many parts that could cause problems, but they did the other night in the Buckeyes win over Tubby Smith in Minnesota. I'm sure we got some Kentucky fans listening. Anytime the Buckeyes can beat anybody that has ties to the University of Kentucky, that's a good day in my eyes, amen? 48-47, 9:40 to play in the game. Trailblazers by 1. Pugh changes that as she got to the rim and stuck it in. First points of the game for the sophomore from Falmouth, Kentucky. And they put the points, it looks like, on the wrong spot on the board. I thought Trailblazers, I'm wrong, never mind. Bowens hit those free throws to give KCU the lead, 50-47. It is the Lady Knights by 3. My bad, our scoreboard is right. Into the lane. Bowens up on the rim, no, but she will shoot 2. Trailblazer fans want a travel. They're not going to get the call. Instead, it's number 1 on Asia Woodson. It's number 8 on the team. Sarah Bechtel going to come in after the first free throw. Bechtel played in the first half, did not score. The first one by Bowens is no good. Only the second miss of this game. For the KCU Lady Knights, they have a decisive advantage in terms of free throw percentage. The Trailblazers have shot 18. KCU has only shot 9, but OCU only with 1 more made free throw, despite all those extra makes. And second free throw no good as well, but they get another foul on OCU, and it's charged to Sarah Bechtel, who has a big smile on her face. Bechtel played for one of my good friends, Steve Palmer, at Worthington Kilbourne. He and I run a basketball camp, a Christian camp, every summer, and told me about Bechtel coming down to OCU, and she has been a blessing, obviously, to this basketball program. 50-47. Bechtel could tie it here. Back of the rim, no good. Rebound KCU, and Bowen's going to turn on the Jets, and nobody's going to catch her to the other end for 2. Boy, did you see how fast they got that outlet? It was a quick carom, got right into one of the KCU Knights' hands. I think it may have been Pugh. I'm not positive, but boy, did they get that to Bowens, and it's what? Offensive foul. Going to be charged to 21, Asia Woodson. That's her second and the team 9th here with 8:44 to play. So the Trailblazers rallied back. They had a 1-point advantage at one point, but now KCU with a little mini run of their own. It's now 52-47. The Lady Knights have answered the call. They're up 5. As we near the 8:30 mark to play in this MidEast Region Women's Championship game. Left baseline, Bowens, runner on the rim, is too strong. Tiaja Smith back in there with 3 fouls and grabbed the rebound, but she was tied up by Kelsey Pugh, and the jump ball possession arrow will keep it with the team in gray. KCU, if you're just joining us, in their home unis is the number 1 seed. Quick into Bowens, who fires a 3, no good. And Kira Zwick, the defensive rebound. And Zwick, one of the bigs for Mandy Ray, brings it down the floor and goes all the way until Jones picks her up at the elbow. Into the lane, and if that's on Sharonda Jones, that's going to be number 4. We'll see, and it is. So Jones, who was a huge factor in this first half, picked up a quick third early in the second, went and sat down, and that's when OCU really turned it on. They've turned it on when she was on the bench. Ron Arnett brought her back in. KCU has kind of stabilized and weathered the storm, and now she's going to have to go sit down again with number 4. And she, like Tiaja Smith at OCU, is such an aggressive player. I mean, Jones just plays hard. I love watching her play. But Ron Arnett, you can't roll the dice with her with 4 fouls and 8:15 to play in the game. No way. Second foul shot is up and in by Asia Woodson, and it has made it a 1-possession game, 52-49. KCU and OCU men, the top 2 teams on the men's side, will play at approximately 3 p.m. We may get underway a little bit later as they have some region awards, some business to take care of. We will have a camera on that region award presentation, and I'll try to be the MC, at least to our viewers, as to tell you who gets what. Left side, Meyer for 3, no good. Zwick trying to take on 3 Lady Knights, did not get much help underneath, and KCU a rebound and a fresh 30. Stevens goes cross court to Bowen. She is all alone for 3, and she put it in. How do you lose sight of the two-time national tournament MVP like that? Wow. 23, it's a game-high 23. Woodson with 22 to lead the Trailblazers. Lead is a half dozen. Woodson to the right baseline, and Fuller, the true freshman from near Huntington. Top of the key, Zwick on the rim, no good. And everybody rebounding both sides. Glick with the board for the Lady Knights. And Smith just ran down Bowens from behind to take it away. Somebody wearing gray has got to make the point guard Bowens aware that Smith is lurking into the lane. Woodson, no. I think it's Jessica Marshall that hammered her, and Woodson will shoot 2, and it is. That's number 3 on Marshall, so the foul situation, Marshall 3 and Jones 4 for KCU. Smith with 3, the only player in really any kind of foul trouble for OCU. Did I say KCU? I hope I did. It is Jones 4, Marshall 3 for the Lady Knights. And the free throw woes continue right now for the Trailblazers that are now unofficially 9 of 21 for 43%, make it 10 of 22. Woodson makes the free throw and will get a breather. Here comes Maritza Will back in. 55-50, they are gonna let Will enter. And Kara Zwick gonna get a breather, probably her final breather before the stretch run. So Zwick has 11 points in this game. She, Rowe, and Woodson, 3 of only 5 Trailblazers that have scored, all 3 of them in double digits. Again, Rowe 13, Zwick 11, and Asia Woodson with 23. Bowens with 23 herself, goes to the right wing, and Caitlin Meyer. Meyer back out to Bowens, 8 on the shot clock, 6:25 to play in the game. Bowens to the left baseline, shot clock at 3, Meyer to fire at 3, and she hit it. That thing must have been at 1 by the time it left Caitlin Meyer's hands. OCU looking like a team that has won 28 straight regional championships, 6 straight national championships. No panic as that clock wound it down. Battle for the basketball at the other end as Sarah Bechtel and Jana Glick got tied up, and possession arrow will keep it with OCU. And of course, whenever the referees get together, there's about a 90% certainty they're talking about the shot clock, which has got a fresh 30 on it right now. And the question is, did KCU ever have possession of that basketball? And ball never hit the rim by OCU, and KCU never established possession. And so all that said, the head referee, Dave Saunders, wants to go back to what that shot clock was at initially when OCU missed, and they can get no help from the scorer's table on something like that. They're going to put 24 on it. Saunders, Johnson, and Doug Force doing a good job keeping order in this basketball game, and Ron Arnett says it should be at about 15. He's not happy, but 24 is the number that they drew out of the hat, and we're going to go with. So Chelsea Black will bring her, Shelby Rowe will bring it in under the OCU basket. Does so to Will. Watch Rowe here coming off the screen. Got a good screen from Will. Fired a 3, no good. Bechtel had it but could not keep it in play. They did a good job setting a screen, but KCU knows that play so well that they didn't get the look that they ordinarily get off of it. Rowe had to rush a little bit, and that's why she came up short. 58-50, 5:43 to play in the game. Bowens to the left wing, and Caitlin Meyer, second-year player out of Brooksville, Kentucky. Bowens, another 3, hit again. And left the net up into the rim. She shot it so well. Tanya Bowens with 26 points in this game. Fuller will sit down. Bechtel will sit down as Woodson and Zwick are back in. So you got to believe this is probably the lineup that Mandy Ray going to go with for the stretch run. It's got the most firepower with Woodson, Rowe, and Zwick. It's got some good defense with Smith, and it's got a rebounder in Maritza Will. But what do I know? Right baseline at Smith. 17-footer is right there. Tiaja Smith with her second field goal in the game, and it's 61-52. Trailblazers need stops, and they need to get it out of the hands of the All-American point guard. Ron Arnett going with a couple guards here. Chester has not been in quite a while, going with the sophomore Meyer instead. Stevens left-handed shot no good, and Zwick fouled Stevens after she grabbed the rebound. So it is not a shooting opportunity, but it is a 1-and-1 opportunity as OCU over the limit. So Kara Zwick, her third, and let me correct my error, that is now number 10 on OCU. And so Monica Stevens will shoot 2 free throws, but not before Mandy Ray can call a timeout. It is a full timeout, 4:54 to play in the game. KCU 61, OCU 52. It's the MidEast Region Women's Championship here on the Ohio Christian University Trailblazer Basketball Network.
You're watching the NCCAA Division II MidEast Region Finals. Today's exciting tournament action brought to you in part by
Domino's Pizza. Handmade pan pizza with 2 layers of cheese, toppings to the edge, and a crust made from fresh dough. Domino's Pizza of Circleville, located on Lancaster Pike.
Subway. Eat fresh. Subway. Eat fresh.
Service Master Clean by Todd George. They will help you get clean and stay that way at work and at home. 740-687-1077.
Fairfield Christian Academy is pleased to offer students from preschool to high school an education of excellence, mid-state league sports, archery, media, drama, and music. Learn more at fairfieldchristianacademy.com.
KCU looking for their 7th win in 8 tries against the Trailblazers. 61-52, 4:54 to play. Monica Stevens will shoot 2 here at the charity stripe. KCU 6 of 9, 67% at the line, make it 7 of 10 as Stevens puts in the first. She has 6 in this game. 62-52, the lead is 10. Stevens, the junior, cannot make the second. Ball bats around and into the hands of the speedy Caitlin Meyer, who says, let's bring it back out and chew up a little bit more clock. 4:45 to play, 62-52. Bowens to Marshall to the left wing, and Meyer. Meyer right wing, Bowens for 3, barely grazed the rim, and another offensive rebound. Marshall had it and lost it out of bounds in front of the KCU bench. Last touch by Asia Woodson, so 4:33 to play. Underneath it's Stevens, cross court to Meyer, got a pretty good look for 3, missed it, and long rebound after Rowe boxed out Meyer nicely. Shelby ran it down. Quickly to the other end, Woodson, inside that 3-point line, it's a long 2. Asia Woodson has been sensational in this basketball game. She was sensational yesterday too. 22 points yesterday, 9 of 16 from the field, 3 of 5 on threes, and she has picked up right where she left off with 25 today, 25 of OCU's 54. 62-54, Bowens on the baseline. Back out to Marshall, underneath to Stevens. Stevens working against Tiaja Smith, setting up Glick, and that jumper from the free throw line is right there. Positioned perfectly was Jana Glick. The Stevens forced the double team, and awesome, spectacular pass. And at the other end, Maritza Will, a bucket and a foul. And that foul is going to be charged on 21, Monica Stevens. It's her third teammate. Here comes Sharonda Jones with those 4 fouls. Meyer and Glick sit down. Solid minutes for those 2 Lady Knights. Maritza Will now with 3 points in this game, and she will look for 4 with the free throw here. Will bends the knees and misses again. I have her 0 for 5 from the charity stripe in this game. 64-56. 3:30 to play in the game. OCU needs stops. Bowens looking to get the step, picked up by Smith. Back out to Marshall. This is senior Rachel Chester. the lone senior on this team. Underneath, it's Jones. Her shot no good. Battle for the rebound ends up in Chester's hands, who threw it high off the window, no good. Ron Arnett not happy with that shot at this point in the game, and they make him pay at the other end with Shelby Rowe. 15 for Shelby Rowe. 64-58, and I can just see it in Ron Arnett's shake of his head, looking at a senior Chester and saying, why, when we're winning by 8 points with 3 minutes left? Nice two-man game. Sharonda Jones strikes again. It's a dozen for Sharonda Jones. Woodson right side. Zwick thought about a three. Now right side, tough shot off the glass. How did she put that one in? Kara Zwick with 13 points. 66-60. Danner at the table. She's coming in at the next dead ball. Tiaja Smith continues to work. 6-point advantage. To the left wing, Marshall. Marshall threw it away, trying to lead Jones, and Ron Arnett again saying, we don't need that. There were 2 or 3 Trailblazers congesting that area where Marshall tried a pinpoint pass. It should be OCU trying to make plays like that. Trailing by a half dozen, they're the team that has to make something happen. KCU in the driver's seat. And if you're the Knights, you are waiting for something perfect on the offensive end. 2:07 to play. Smith looking to get into the lane. Got the step, but got her shot blocked. Got it back. This is Rowe. This would be 3. No. Rebound, Kira Zwick, a fresh 30. Zwick back out to Rowe. Another 3. This one no good. Battle underneath. Danner banging. Another rebound. Can Zwick run it down? She does. Minute 47 to play. 66-60. Trailblazers trailing by 6. Woodson wants some help. She wants to get it to one of the guards so she can work on the wing. 6-point advantage. Smith looking. Smith right side. Nearly lost it. Nearly lost it again, and she does. Taken away by Bowens, and a foul on Kira Zwick near midcourt. Number 4 on Kira Zwick, number 11 on the team. So Tanya Bowens, a 73% free throw shooter, will step to the line and get 2. Lots of impressive statistics about this young lady. The one that sticks out to me as I put our charts together, plus 60 in terms of assist to turnover ratio coming into this game. 27 for Bowens, 67-60. She'll have one more free throw coming up after Mandy Ray takes a full timeout. 88 seconds to play in the game. 67-60 KCU. It's the MidEast Region Championship game here on the Ohio Christian University Trailblazer Basketball Network.
You're watching the NCCAA Division II MidEast Region Finals. Today's exciting tournament action brought to you in part by
Domino's Pizza. Handmade pan pizza with 2 layers of cheese, toppings to the edge, and a crust made from fresh dough. Domino's Pizza of Circleville, located on Lancaster Pike.
Subway, eat fresh. Subway, eat fresh.
Service Master Clean by Todd George. They will help you get clean and stay that way at work and at home. 740-687-1077.
Fairfield Christian Academy is pleased to offer students from preschool to high school an education of excellence, mid-state league sports, archery, media, drama, and music. Learn more at fairfieldchristianacademy.com.
Plenty of good meetings between these two teams. Another one here today. Reminds me of back in 2010 at Philadelphia Biblical, probably the best one. It was in the national championship game. Number 1 KCU, 72-70 in that game. Shelby Rowe hit a 3 in that one to give OCU a lead late, but it was Meredith Reed that converted a 3-point play late in that game that ended up being the game winner. They have had some good ones, and OCU trying to rally back here, but Woodson threw it away, and Woodson committed a foul after committing the turnover. Foul on Woodson is her 3rd and the team's 12th, and so again, we will go to the other end and shoot 2 free throws. 68-60. Minute 20 to play in the game. Monica Stevens, a 68% free throw shooter, will step to the line and shoot 2. Stevens bends the knees and puts it up and in. Monica Stevens did not score in the first half, has 7 here in the second. One more for Monica Stevens, sights it, shoots it, and got it. Did everything, hung on the rim, and finally dropped in. This is a 10-point game, and a foul is going to be charged on Jessica Marshall, trying to keep Shelby Rowe from any uncontested looks on that right wing. So Marshall's 4th, team 9th, so OCU, an opportunity to get some points here with the clock stopped with 1:15 to play. Remember, the clock stops on every make here in the final minute of this basketball game. Chelsea Black will sit down as Rowe to the line for 2, or 1 and 1, I beg your pardon. It was number 9 on the team. First one is up and in. Free throws 24 and 25 for OCU, 16 for Rowe. It's made it a 9-point game with 1:15 to play. One more for Rowe, who bends the knees and hits. 17 for Shelby Rowe. And it is 70-62. Again, OCU over the 10-foul limit, so every foul here will be 2. Jones with a screen. It's gave Bowens a little bit of room. Bowens into the lane, but missed it up close, and it goes out of bounds off Tanya Bowens. I thought she carried it anyway. On the stop and start, a tendency for any player to kind of carry that basketball a little bit while you stutter, and I thought she did there with no call. So it'll be justice serves. 8-point game, exactly a minute to play. Trailblazers must score, and they must score now. Woodson into the lane, working right side, put it off the window, no. Stevens had it, but lost it, and it goes out of bounds off Kara Zwick. So 49.7 left. Marshall's gonna bring it in with her length at 5'11". She sends Chester onto the court. Black will sit down, and kind of an offense for defense substitution as Destiny Turner will come in with fouls to give, and Ron Arnett wants a timeout with 49.7 seconds left. We'll keep it right here. It is a full timeout. We'll tell you that we will have a women's award presentation after this game ends. They'll give away regular season MidEast Region Awards. Then they'll have the all-tournament team. They'll give away the Coach of the Year award. We'll have a camera on the presenter giving out those awards, but my fear is you might not be able to pick up the audio, so I'll try to be the best MC I can be here at Press Row and share some of the names of the players that get those awards here in the region. The OCU and KCU men will follow at 3 p.m. or 20 minutes after this basketball game and award ceremony concludes, whichever is later. They will give those guys a full 20 minutes to warm up. 49.7 left, 70-62. Mandy Ray has her squad on the floor. It's Danner, Zwick, Rowe, Turner, and Woodson. As Ron Arnett taking as much time as he is permitted in that huddle to get his squad ready, and he will go with junior Jessica Marshall, senior Rachel Chester, junior Bowen, the junior Sharonda Jones, and the junior Monica Stevens. Inbound to Chester. Back to Marshall. Again, worth noting one more time, no 10-second violation in women's basketball. It took them 11 here to get it across, and then Bowens had it taken away by Turner. 70-62. Trailblazers must score, and they must score now. Trying to set up Woodson left side, and she had it taken right out of her hands by Rachel Chester, and then Woodson committed a foul, and it is number 4 on Woodson, and 2 more free throws coming up for KCU. I can see what Ron Arnett drew up in that timeout. He said, we are not helping on any dribble drive. That's exactly what OCU wanted. They wanted to get into the lane and set up their shooter Woodson, and KCU didn't take the bait. They stuck right with Woodson, and they were not going to take that defender off of Woodson to provide any kind of help defense. First free throws up and in for Rachel Chester, 3 points in the game. Turner will sit down again. An offense for defense substitution as Black the better scorer on the floor as Chester hit a second free throw. 72-62, under a half minute to play. It's a 10-point advantage. Black to the left wing and Rowe. Rowe back to Black, taking way too long, and she lost the basketball. Taken away by Tanya Bowens, and Bowens fouled by Kara Zwick with 14.7 seconds left, and that will do it for the senior Kara Zwick. So 14.7 left. And I think they're going to discuss whether this is any kind of flagrant foul. She hit her pretty hard, may have clotheslined her. Fortunately, there's no video to go back and review. That's probably a good thing if you're a Trailblazer fan, but they are going to call it an intentional foul. So a couple free throws coming up here for Tanya Bowens, and KCU will get the basketball. Doug Force was informing Zwick that she wasn't kicked out of the game, but she is out because it is her 5th personal foul. And so Sarah Bechtel will check into the game as Tanya Bowens will shoot the free throws first, and the first one is up and in. 29 points for Tanya Bowens. Bowens bends the knees and fires again, good again. 30 points in this game. She is the best player in America. And because she is on this KCU team, I don't care what their record is, they are a danger come tournament time to win number 7. They inbound to Bowens with 10 seconds to play, 74-62, and a foul by Shelby Rowe with 6.9 to play will take Jessica Marshall back to the line. You know what's interesting is, well, it'll be interesting how the seeding works out for this national championship. Maranatha has been number 1 most of the year, so you expect them to stay there, and unless they get beat up in their Midwest regional tournament. But these two teams possibly could see each other in the semifinals this year if they both would win in the quarters. They could be the 2 and 3 in this championship. 2 seconds to play. Rowe fired a 3 that was partially deflected, and KCU has won number 29 in a row by the final of 76-62. Trailblazers made it a game early in that second half. They got within 1, but KCU answered the call, and they showed why they have won 6 straight national championships. They're a winner tonight, 76-62. We'll take a break, share some statistics in the MidEast Region Awards coming up after this timeout here on the OCU Trailblazer Basketball Network.
You're watching the NCCAA Division II MidEast Region Finals. Today's exciting tournament action brought to you in part by
Domino's Pizza. Handmade pan pizza with 2 layers of cheese, toppings to the edge, and a crust made from fresh dough. Domino's Pizza of Circleville, located on Lancaster Pike.
Subway, eat fresh. Subway, eat fresh.
Service Master Clean by Todd George. They will help you get clean and stay that way at work and at home. 740-687-1077.
Fairfield Christian Academy is pleased to offer students from preschool to high school an education of excellence, mid-state league sports, archery, media, drama, and music. Learn more at fairfieldchristianacademy.com.
Now for second team, all
Sharing some of the region awards in this building right now as Kara Zwick, a second team MidEast region performer. Sharonda Jones, the former Trailblazer, named a second team region performer as well. Maddie Philippi, the leading scorer from Johnson University, freshman on this all-region team. Whitney Moore, their sharp shooting center that is a freshman at Johnson University as well, part of the MidEast region team. Olivia Davis, part of that second team as well. Davis, as we said, tweaked a knee earlier this week, is at an MRI, and they hope to get her back for the national tournament here at OCU. March the 7th through the 9th. So
from Ohio Christian University, Shelby Rowe. From Kentucky Christian University, Monica Stevens.
Monica Stevens being recognized. This first team MidEast region. So Kaylee Carter from Johnson, Shelby Rowe, Monica Stevens, Asia Woodson, the freshman from Toledo. OCU's leading scorer came right in.
NCCAA MidEast Region Player of the Year from Kentucky Christian University.
And the MidEast region Player of the Year, no surprise there, it goes to Tanya Bowens from KCU, the two-time first-team All-American and two-time national tournament MVP. They have announced those are your winners in terms of the region awards, and now they will recognize the presentation of the banner. They will also recognize the all-tournament team here. It is a final 76-62. Number 1 KCU is knocked off number 2 OCU, and freshman Amanda Scheich recognized on the all-tournament team at 10 points and 9 rebounds yesterday. Played very, very hard and aggressive, and really was impressed with Scheich's effort. Senior Shelby Rowe had 17 in this championship game, 15 of them in the second half. Monica Stevens also named to the all-tournament team. Stevens, another Stevens-like effort today, finishing with 8 points, 13 rebounds, 6 assists. Freshman Asia Woodson named to the all-tournament team, and the MVP of this MidEast region tournament is junior Tanya Bowens, who exploded tonight for 30 points, was only 9 of 27 from the field, but 5 of 13 on threes, 30 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists, and 3 steals in 35 minutes of action for the MidEast region Player of the Year and the tournament MVP, Tanya Bowens. And before we take a break and share some final statistics, they will hand the banner to the KCU Lady Knights. They will have trouble finding room in that Dick Dameron Hall of Champions, as this is number 29 in a row. It is number 30 in school history, and KCU in front of a good crowd that made the trip from Grayson will hold that banner up and celebrate, and they want them to turn it around and show it to the fans instead of us at press row, and they do that. So a tough test. It was a 12-point game at the break. OCU rallied early. Jones got in some foul trouble, which was a huge help to OCU. They actually took a 1-point lead, but the Lady Knights pulled away when it counted late in that second half, and they are your 2013 NCCAA Division II MidEast Region champions. Final scoring numbers in this game: Asia Woodson with 25 points, Shelby Rowe with 17, Kara Zwick with 13 to lead OCU. Maritza Will added 3, Tasia Smith added 4. The Trailblazers 12 of 25 from the charity stripe for 48%, and when you look at a 14-point loss, missing 13 of 25 free throws, turnovers does not help matters. KCU led today by Tanya Bowens, one of 3 Lady Knights in double digits. Sharonda Jones added a dozen. Jessica Marshall popped in 10. Stevens added 8 points tonight. Chester had 4. Caitlin Meyer had 6. Glick had 4. And Kelsey Pugh popped in 2. The Lady Knights 16 of 21 at the charity stripe for 76%. Shooting numbers, OCU 38% from the field. They finished, 22 of 58. KCU finished 42% from the field. They shot 25 of 59. The Knights really got it done from behind the arc. They finished 9 of 19 for 47%. OCU only 30% on threes, 6 of 20. Battle the backboards. That advantage goes to KCU by 18 tonight. So you wonder how much are they going to miss Olivia Davis? How about that statistic right there? Davis, the OCU leading rebounder at 8.8 per game. Not able to go today, and a 43-25 rebounding advantage for KCU. In terms of turnovers, the Knights turned it over 17 times. They dished out 16 assists. OCU 13 turnovers and 13 assists. The leading rebounder for OCU is Kara Zwick, a double-double, 13 points, 10 rebounds on 6 of 9 shooting. On the KCU side of things, the leading rebounder, Monica Stevens, 8 points to go along with 13 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, and a block. And she really stepped up, especially in that second half when she scored all 8 of her points. KCU led 35-23 after 1. They outscore OCU 41-39 in the second, and they win tonight by the final of 76-62. KCU with the win, and it's back to 500. They are 15-15, 4-1 in the region. OCU with the loss drops to 18-12. They are 4-2 in MidEast region play. These two teams will be here March 7th through 9th for the NCCAA Division II Women's National Championship, as KCU will try to win number 7 in a row, and OCU will try to win their first in national championship history on the OCU home floor. I want to say thanks to Ron Arnett for helping us prepare. Always thanks to Mandy Ray, who has worked with us all season long. We'll get some thoughts from Mandy Ray at halftime of the men's game, but right now let's step aside. Let's take a 60-second break. When we come back, we'll shift gears and get you ready for OCU and the KCU men. It's coming up next here on the Ohio Christian University Trailblazer Basketball Network.
Thank you for watching the NCCAA Division II MidEast Region Finals.